Hello, I'm Adam, hailing from partsFUNknown, and welcome to Fantasy Booking Warfare! It's time for another first round match. Last week, we saw Luke Owen take out his best friend, Denise Salcedo, beating her with his finally Roman Reigns getting a win over Brock Lesnar booking. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. This week, it's Sullivan Bo Brown, Hot Dog, versus El Fakador, Laurie Blake. And they're booking John Cena's Heel Turn. I am joined by our two competitors. I'm joined by Sully.
Hello.
I'm joined by Laurie.
How do you do?
How do you do?
How do you do, sir?
How do you do? Now, the question on everyone's mind, Laurie, obviously, we're aware of your Quizomania history. Did you take this seriously?
I took it too seriously, if anything. I spent far too much time on the first thing that happened and then ran out of time for the ending. So it hops, skips, and gets to the end, and you'll see that as it happens.
Sully, your first take that you sent to us was 46 minutes long. Have you managed to cut it down a bit?
I have successfully managed to do that and cut out a lot of long, rambling rants about things that irritate me in wrestling.
Sullivan, call it in the air.
Okay. Heads? It's heads!
Huzzah! Would you like to go first or second, Sullivan?
First, please, like a penalty shootout. Always good to go first.
Let's see how Sullivan Bo Brown would book John Cena's Heel Turn.
You can't see me, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. Ha, such fun words from John Cena there. Now, what about his heel turn? Well, I think he should start in 2013, I think. WrestleMania 29, him versus The Rock. Number 2, this one. And it's the main event, and it's going to be going pretty much how it did on the night, with one key difference. And that's going to be a ref bump that takes the ref out. It's an accidental one. It's not somebody just whacking someone over the head. He falls over and, maybe sips on something. I don't know. John Cena goes to kick The Rock in the stomach while he's in motion. And instead, he accidentally kicks him straight in the gonads. And it's a low blow. And John is confused, and The Rock is confused, and the fans are confused. They don't really know whether this was deliberate or not. And he's like, no, this is an accident. The Rock is like a little bit playing possum. He's in pain, but he's also, preparing to attack him. And he goes for him. But in doing so, John is able to counter it, puts him up for an AA. 1, 2, 3. He has won the title in such a weird circumstance that he kind of has to explain himself. He's like, listen, it was just an accident. I'm a good guy. I care about you, the fans. That's all I care about. And I wouldn't be a bad guy because I care about you so much. He goes through the next few matches in the next few months absolutely fine. He defeats Ryback twice and Mark Henry, and that's absolutely fine. It gets to SummerSlam, and he's fighting against Daniel Bryan. And you got Triple H as the special guest referee, and it's all going to be, is he going to call it down the middle? Well, of course he isn't. And in this case, he actually looks like he's going to attack John, but he goes for Daniel Bryan, and he kicks him in the stomach, pedigree, and he drags John over. John is conscious and able to stop the count if he wants to, but he doesn't. And he goes 1, 2, 3, boom, he's won. The booing would be insane. It would be crazy. But John has just won the title. And, the next night on Raw, he comes out and he's talking to the fans and he's like, listen, hey, I didn't want to say this, but I found out I need to do a tricep surgery for 4 months. But don't worry, everyone. I'm keeping your title safe. I'm making sure it doesn't get into bad hands. I'm going to keep it while I'm injured. And the fans are going mental at this point, presumably, hating on him. And you keep him off telly for a few months, and then he's going to come back against Del Rio and Sandow. And these matches are going to go very, very similarly, but the only difference is that after the matches is that he is going to beat those people to a pulp with chairs and weapons and put them through tables and really, really take them too far in terms of the beating that he just thinks that they deserve because they are dastardly heels in his mind. And it, all builds up to this match with Randy Orton. Now he's saying that now at this point, hey, listen, I need to stop these heels from having any championships. I need to unify the world championships. So I'm going to fight Randy Orton. And I'm the only one who can do it because I'm Big Match John. I'm Big Match John. I got my 5 moves of doom because that's all I need to destroy these dastardly heels. And it comes to the match against Randy at TLC, and they're fighting each other in the main event. And then it goes, bong, lights out. Midway through this fight, John's been on top the whole fight, but now the lights are out. What's going on? Bong, oh, whatever that quiet does, and then bong, bom, bom, ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Oi! It's the Undertaker. He comes out and he just points at John, and he points at the WrestleMania sign. And he's like, oh no. And he turns around and Randy Orton RKO's him like through a fucking table, whatever it is. And 1, 2, 3, Randy's got the titles. You could do the Daniel Bryan story now. And it's just the same. Then we cut to the Royal Rumble and John is not going to have his rematch with Randy Orton at Royal Rumble. In this case, he's going to be entering the Royal Rumble and he's going to be entering at number 30. Batista has already entered, by the way. Number 30, they're all waiting for Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan doesn't come out just like he did in the last time, because in this world, they've planned it as well. They've really planned that. That's genuinely true in this world. Not in the real world, but in this world. And John Cena comes out with this hustle, loyalty, and respect thing, going, yes, 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 to Daniel Bryan's music. And the fans are going absolutely crazy. And he's going, yes, yes, it's me, it's me. And he's sort of aware that the fans hate him, but he's going like, you don't understand, I am fighting for you. And he's going for it, and he's knocking everyone out, and it's him and Batista in the final 2, and everyone's booing because nobody wants this. Nobody wants Batista and John Cena to be, in the main event of WrestleMania at this point. They're bored. And so they are booing and booing and booing, and then once again, lights out. Bong, bong. Undertaker in the ring, hand already around the neck of John Cena. He choke slams him out of the ring. Batista, well done. You're going to the main event of WrestleMania. You're going to have that whole Daniel Bryan thing, ace. And now you've got Undertaker versus Cena, and Cena's fucking fuming. On the next day of Raw, he is fuming. He comes out and he's talking to the Undertaker. He's saying, listen, Undertaker, okay, fine, I accept your challenge. I will go for you, but only if you put your career on the line. I don't care. I just want to destroy you and end you and never have to see you ever again.
I hate
and
you.
the Undertaker
You're stupid.
accepts.
You smell.
And so we have the WrestleMania main event. Here it is. It's all set up. They are fighting like they did in the Ruthless Aggression era. It is a classic, hopefully. Hopefully nobody gets concussed. Oh, God, please, God. Let's hope that nobody gets concussed. And, they're hitting all of their finishers. There's no weapons or anything like that. It's not no disqualification match. It doesn't need any stipulation. It's already one of the biggest matches, ever. And John Cena was thrown out of the ring, and he doesn't really know what to do at this point. He's been beaten down. He's tried everything against The Undertaker, and he just cannot win. And he picks up a sledgehammer. He goes back into the ring with it, and the referee's like, whoa, stop. You're not allowed sledgehammers in here. A strict no sledgehammer rule. While this is all being explained to John, Triple H runs down, and Triple H pedigrees The Undertaker behind the referee's back. John sees this, throws the sledgehammer out of the ring. He goes over to cover him. 1, 2, shoulder up. Okay, fine. He picks him up. He gets him into an AA. 1, 2, shoulder up. And then another AA. 1, 2, shoulder up. And then he gets him up for another AA. Up onto the top rope. A super AA. 1, 2, 3. Finally, after everything, The Undertaker has been finally put down, and his career is over. The streak is over. There is nothing left of The Undertaker. We don't ever have to see him wrestle in Saudi Arabia against Goldberg, and he can just retire in dignity at his peak. And John leaves the ring, and The Undertaker and Triple H is there, and he goes to shake his hand. And John accepts the handshake. Now John is going to be part of the Authority. He's going to be a company man, a part of the Authority for the rest of it. Yeah. And then you have that whole Authority thing, but with John Cena in there as well. Instead of Randy Orton, which is not as fun or interesting.
First of all, just kudos on the brass neck of you, Sullivan, for ending the main event of WrestleMania on a confusing accidental nut shot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Start, yeah.
Whoops, did I kick you in the dick? Oh, well.
What's a dick?
Is this a heel turn? We'll long this off for a full year, and we'll see whether it is. And
So,
it is.
Cena beats the streak and retires The Undertaker all in
Yeah.
the same match, with Triple
Yeah.
H running down to get involved as well.
Hundo P.
It's
Yeah.
a lot.
But
It's a lot, Sully.
it is a lot.
It's a lot.
But I'll tell you why. Because ultimately, I think when The Undertaker lost the streak, he should have retired. I can't think of a match after that I'm like, oh no, we're going to miss out on Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. There's no like good WrestleMania matches for The Undertaker after that.
John Cena is a kicks Rock in the dick. Whoops.
It kicks him in the dick.
Accidentally kicks him in the
Didn't mean to
dick.
do that.
But while I'm here, I guess I'll turn evil.
Well,
So he's fine up until SummerSlam. Wins the match, which not the way he would have wanted. Goes away to have tricep surgery. At some point during tricep surgery, they accidentally remove his soul because as soon as he comes back, he is crippling heels.
Well, the thing is, right, is that he's kind of already fully turned before he goes on tricep surgery because he decides to keep the title with him, and he makes it quite clear that he thinks he's the only one who deserves the title. So he's already kind of lost his soul already. But the first, you got to ease him in because he's kind of got a weirdly almost heelish persona anyway, in his sort of like doesn't really care when he loses kind of thing. And that kind of he's got an arrogance to him, John Cena. So you've got to ease him in with a few accidents. Is it a heel turn? And then
Accidents.
Poopsies, as they're called.
a couple of people's. You could have The Rock slipping on a banana. You could have it on any of these things.
Brock Lesnar accidentally shits himself. He's really embarrassed. John Cena kind of like rolls him up.
John Cena
like,
caused
what's
it
happening?
accidentally.
Whoopsie. I like the subtlety of it. I do like I like the idea that he's not suddenly twirling his moustache. It's the idea that he's always just like, he's always a bit like, he's a robot man who doesn't really care about people's feelings and is incredibly aloof to the entire roster. And you're just sort of leaning into that and trying to play the crowd game. Laurie, what did you think of Sully's booking?
I enjoyed it. A lot of history. A lot of history's been changed. There's a lot of accidental dick kicking, which I don't know how that would go down at a WrestleMania. It really was like nobody knew what a dick was.
So they're both looking at, like, he just kicks Rock in the dick and Rock's like, and Cena's like, and Rock's like,
Did I do that?
They're both just really confused.
As Rock slowly falls down.
Why did you do this? I didn't mean to do it, I think. I'm gonna lift you up now.
I guess I win. All right.
Yeah.
So that's that. We will get back to comparing both of them at the end, but we do have one more booking to watch. We've got Laurie's booking. Let's see how Laurie Alfacador Blake would book John Cena's heel turn.
So our story begins at SummerSlam 2021, and Big E cashed in his Money in the Bank contract to open the show, winning a triple threat against Bobby Lashley and Goldberg, and walking away as the WWE Champion. Closing us out is John Cena and Roman Reigns going toe-to-toe in the main event. And just like Cena made clear on SmackDown, he's going to get smashed by Reigns, but he's just going to hang in there and hang on, looking for that 1, 2, 3, and after taking a pummeling that's left him busted open but never kept him down, fending off the inevitable Uso run-in, it looks like he's about to do it as he ducks a Superman punch from a frustrated Roman. He sweeps Reigns up onto his shoulders for an AA, but as he tips Roman over, the head of the table lands on his feet, hits the ropes, and rebounds with a huge spear. 1, 2, Cena's arm shoots into the air. Roman looks shocked, but that shock turns to a smile as he nods and says, "That's right, you never give up, do you, John?" Now Roman's standing over him, one limp hand of Cena reaching out and just sort of touching the edge of Roman's boot. blood all clotted up in the Never Give Up sweatband. Reigns reaches down, grabs the wrist, rips the band off and drops it to the canvas. Maintaining wrist control, he then pulls John up to his knees, right into a guillotine chokehold. Cena struggles. He fights and fights. Roman's telling him to tap, but Cena won't give up. The ref rushes over to check as Cena seemingly goes limp, but Roman lets go. Cena slumps to the floor, gasping for air, and Roman backs down, the official saying this will only be over when he gives up. Now Cena's face down on the canvas, his breath rasping. Reigns lifts him up into the guillotine once more, and this time as he squeezes, Cena weakly taps out.
Goodness me.
So Roman walks out with the Universal title slung over his shoulder. Cena is still crumpled in the ring. The closing image of the show as the copyright logo comes up is him reaching out with one finger for the bloodied up sweatband as the medical team swarm around him. So the next day on Raw, it's revealed that John Cena had to be rushed to a local medical facility after SummerSlam and was put on oxygen, and they're not sure when or if he'll be cleared to wrestle again. Now Cena goes old school and isn't seen in public for quite a while, which apparently costs movie studios millions of dollars in the process. Again, this is a fantasy. Money is no object, so don't come at me for that. Flash forward to the Royal Rumble 2022, and in the build-up, Finn Balor has been getting reheated after his push stalled. Things are different this time because Roman isn't backing Balor for a shot, saying he couldn't even get through the contract signing without getting beat up. How in the hell is he worthy to take on the Chief? So Balor says, fine, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble and take that Universal title off you at WrestleMania, and I'm going to do it from the #1 spot. If Vince won't give me the big push, I'll do it myself. And Balor really looks like he's getting the big push too during the Royal Rumble match as he makes it all the way through. And as we approach the number 30 entrant, Balor is the lone babyface fending off Jay and Jimmy Uso, who Roman bullied Adam Pearce into entering at 28 and 29. Seth Rollins is in there, and so is Sami Zayn because I think they'd be good. The beatdown is on as the heels team up to kick Finn while he's down as the timer ticks down. 3, 2, 1. Wabadoo! There's John Cena standing on the ramp with his little arms crossed and his head down. He does that weird smug look up like he did at Rumble 2008. This is unbelievable! You gotta be kidding me! Oh my god! Scream the commentators. The crowd pop, but Cena sucks is still mixed in there somewhere. All the heels do their best Triple H shocked face as John rushes the ring. Out goes Rollins, out goes Zayn. Finn rallies and they both eliminate Jimmy and Jay at the same time. John lobs Jimmy onto the pile of people outside and Balor shotgun drop kicks Jay over the top rope. Does that make sense in physics terms? I don't know. Balor stays on his back after the move though, clearly running on empty. Cena goes over. He stands over Finn for a moment and reaches out a hand, pulling Finn up to his feet by his wrist. And there's a second too long where Cena keeps hold before shaking Finn's hand and backing off. The pair then have a really good last few minute stretch of the Rumble that ends as Balor hits a sling blade, turns and shotgun drop kicks Cena over the top rope out onto the apron. As Balor rushes in to knock him down, Cena drags him over the rope, so both men are now on the apron. They begin to brawl, the crowd getting more and more behind Balor as things go on. Huge yay, boo punches, a big old round of let's go Balor, Cena sucks. Balor gets the upper hand for a second as Cena drops to a knee. Balor winds up for his big apron punt kick, but as he rushes in, Cena just pops him up, first into a powerbomb pose and then powering him out again into the fireman's carry, slamming Balor onto the apron with an AA, who then falls out onto the floor. The crowd erupt. The Kiddlywinks are obviously happy that Cena picked up the win, but there is a lot of hate from the smart marks. Cena celebrates on the turnbuckle with his gang signs out, pointing to the WrestleMania sign. He even points to Finn Balor, offering the sportsmanly round of applause, but it does not go down well. People are pissed that Finn was robbed right at the last by Cena yet again. It's then advertised that Cena is going to appear on SmackDown to make his choice of opponent for Mania. Big E, as WWE Champion, has been invited along to hear John out, and Roman comes out flanked by both Usos and Heyman holding up the Universal title. Oh, wabadoo! People boo! They wanted Balor to win. Cena walks out, and he doesn't play up to the crowd like usual. He doesn't talk to the cameraman or rush the ring either. He just walks down, grabs a mic, standing between E and Roman and saying, I wanted to apologize To anyone I might have let down recently, this is kind of hard to understand. Sometimes you can try so hard at something. Sometimes you can be so prepared and still fail. That's the beginning of his never give up speech. He says, it's something Finn Balor understands. And then turning to Roman Reigns, he says, it's something I understand. You made me tap out. I've often said a man's character is not judged after he celebrates a victory, but by what he does when his back is against the wall. My back wasn't just against the wall when I faced you, Roman. You put me right through it. I missed months of work, and part of me thought that might be it. I thought I might never win another championship. I thought I might never wrestle again. But now I get a choice. Another round with you, or with you, Big E. He turns around to face Big E and he says, I respect you. You hustled for that WWE Championship. You fought hard for years and you remained loyal to your friends. You earned this, pointing to the title. That's inspiring to me. And Roman has stepped right up behind him as all this is happening, and he wheels around looking Roman right in the face and he says, I believe no matter how great the setback, how severe the failure, you pick yourself up, you brush yourself off, you push forward, you move on, you adapt, you find a different path. As he turns around and he looks at Big E and says, I will see you at WrestleMania. The fans erupt into a chorus of boos as Cena's pointing to the title. He points to the WrestleMania sign, all the while staring down Big E. Now on the road to WrestleMania, John Cena is mostly absent, using the old movie excuse because that is going to piss a lot of people off, and I want you to hate my heel Cena. But when on Raw leading up to Mania, he does claim that WWE set him up to fail every time they've asked him to come back now. Every time he comes back, it's to face an Undertaker, or a Bray Wyatt, or a Roman Reigns. Every time he ends up in a medical facility or lost in the Firefly Funhouse for months, but not this time. This time, he has to be ruthless in going after what he wants. Now, Big E gets a great little run from the Royal Rumble to Mania, toppling all comers at every pay-per-view, the likes of AJ Styles, Karrion Kross, Lashley again, all folks with big old submissions in their arsenal. So every match we get to see Big E refusing to tap out, refusing to give up. Also, Finn Balor wins the Elimination Chamber to decide the #1 contender for the Universal title, so don't be mad about him going out in the Rumble, yeah? And if you are mad, at Ollie Davis is my Twitter handle. At WrestleMania, Cena and Big E are closing out night one and having a great match as they trade ridiculous feats of strength all around the ring. In the closing stretch, Cena gets the upper hand, nailing E with move after move, locking in the STF, but E won't stay down. He won't quit. Big E gets this last-ditch rally, an overhead belly-to-belly. He hoists John up into the big ending, but Cena drops over the back, picking E up backwards and then powering him into a fireman's carry. The AA follows. 1, 2, Big E's arm shoots into the air. Cena looks shocked, and then there's this moment of realization. E isn't going to give up. And as a man who recently gave up, this makes John mad. He stands, Big E is barely moving now. The referee comes in really close to check on him as Cena reaches into a pocket before popping off the rope. Bouncing back, he does a little shuffle, brushes a little dirt off. Is that a glint of brass? The ref hasn't seen. He nails Big E in the face with a brass knuckle shuffle. Cena drops into the cover. 1, 2, 3. John Cena is a 17-time champion. He pockets the knucks as he stands up to collect the belt. Big E is laying in the ring, unmoving. That is my booking. I hope you hate John Cena now, and not me. If you don't like the book, tell John Cena that you don't like the booking. Don't tell me.
Interesting how there's always a similarity between the bookings. John Cena entering number 30 in the Royal Rumble. There's an entitlement to John Cena, which you both kind of played with, and you're both playing crowd games. My question to you, though, Laurie, is 2022 heel John Cena. Like,
what does he do?
What does he do? Because you did the long road up to the heel turn, which is fair because you kind of unpicked. So like Laurie kind of Sully did like the slow change, and you did the sort of psychological build up to the action itself. But I am very curious as to kind of where it goes from here, because he is now going to be your part-time champion, which will play into the heel turn. But does it diminish its effect by happening in 2022 rather than full-time roster like Sully did?
Yeah, I think that's what you'd want to do with his character, is have the whole part-timer thing be part of it. The whole point, I think, what I was trying to do with my booking was play off how the fans already react to him. It's always mixed, and that he's never really played into that as like part of his like psyche in kind of his wrestling. So like it would be interesting to see him be like, oh well, they don't like me, so you know, if I'm off doing a movie, you don't have a champion. And I would say like, then you've got Big E to warm up again and go against John Cena again for that sort of thing, or you could do I originally had Finn Balor wins the Universal title at WrestleMania, so that would be like a night 2 thing, and you'd close the show with it with a nice thing, rather than having night 1 end on a down thing where John Cena turns heel, and then you'd have Roman Reigns freed up to do a twice in a lifetime style thing.
I'm still formulating thoughts, but I am interested, Sully, in your immediate reaction.
I really liked it. I really liked how slow the build was, and then that thing that happened a year ago just triggers that thing of like, oh, fuck, no, I gave up last year, and you're just not giving up. I really like that. I really liked it a lot.
I mean, you are competing against Laurie, so I was hoping for a little bit of trash talk there, Sully, or something.
Oh, it was really bad how you thought about it loads, and it clearly put a lot of effort into it. Bloody idiot.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I mean, Laurie
really
did
enjoyed it.
Laurie did manage to cut a few extra promos in that 2 minutes over the time limit that he went.
No.
You went exactly 8 minutes, Sullivan, like a good little boy, whereas Laurie Blake over here got to take his time by flouting the rules of his own format, because he is he is the showrunner for this series.
Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to edit 2 more minutes out of it when I was editing it. I was like, oh god, we got to do predictions now, bye.
Yes. I'm not going to lie, Laurie, there was a lot of quality to the promos, there was a lot of richness to the character stuff. Like my only issues are, obviously there's stuff you can make fun of with Sully, like the accidental dick shot, but I feel like there's industry-wise, there's possibly more to do with a full-time heel John Cena. Yeah, I'm really torn, guys. I think I'm leaning one way, but how I'm leaning doesn't matter, because you're the authority here. You, the PFK universe. Whose booking did you prefer? Did you prefer But My Penis by Sullivan Bo Brown? Or did you prefer Laurie Blake?
Sorry, I just want that to be my autobiography title. Sorry, carry on.
Or did you prefer Sometimes Give Up, the Laurie Blake Odyssey? You can vote. Head on over to the community tab on the PFK YouTube channel. There you will see a poll. Laurie Blake versus Sullivan Bo Brown. Who do you want to see advance to the quarterfinal to face the winner of next week's Fantasy Booking Warfare, which pits Los Intangibles de Wrestle Talk versus Steve and Larson, who are going to be booking the New Day Triple Threat. Join us next week as we go over who won this episode, and we'll see that booking. Jam that jam, everybody.